Hello, my name is MsRheyRhey, and today I will be presenting to you how I made Tic Tac Toe in Unity. For full transparency, I did use a tutorial. The link for that will be in the description of this video and also in the discussion board that I present this video in. So this is a very basic tic-tac-toe game. You have interactable buttons, a whoever wins screen, and a restart button. Now visually, this is all done with canvas, panels, and buttons, obviously, in Unity's UI. There are two main scripts that this game uses. One is grid space, which lets the buttons become usable, to the main script, which is the game controller. Now in the game controller script, there are you start with what it does on awake, which will be setting the buttons able to be controlled by the controller. It starts with the player X. The X will be, is typically the first one to be used. It sets the panel that lets you know whether it is a draw or a win to deactive, so you don't see it while you're playing. And it has the restart button at the end of the game become inactive, so you don't get to just reset the game in the middle of when you're playing. So first off, the game controller has a get player side panel, which lets the game controller know how to interact, whether it is X or O. In the end turn scenario, it has every possible win scenario, whether it is X or O, accounted for, a very long list. And in the case of a draw, there is a move counter, so when every panel is pressed, that is 9 moves, so in 9 moves or more, the win text, instead of saying X or O wins, it says it's a draw. And then it in the end, whenever the X or O is done with its turn, it has the command to change sides, which is right here. It lets the player, when it starts with X, change over to O, and when it's over with O, it changes back to X. Very, very simple. And in the game over scenario, it has a list of buttons, which is the grid space. All the buttons can be accounted for right here in the text that will be in them. It sets all of the buttons to inactive. That way you can't still press the buttons after someone already wins. And it sets the panel text to X or O wins. That's why it says player side, whether the player is X or O, and then the text wins. And then it has the restart button set to active, so now you can see and press to the button in case you want to play again. Now the restart button right here, it sets everything back to pretty much when it's awake. It sets the first player back to X. It sets the move counter from 9 or however many times it took to win back to 0. It sets the game over panel back to deactive, so you don't see it. It sets all of the buttons that after the game was deactive back to active, and it turns back in orange, and you can highlight it yellow and all of that. And it resets the button list, so it's all blank. You don't see any X's or O's. And it also deactivates the restart button to inactive. This is just a basic text of whether you can see the win or lose, well, not lose, but X or O wins panel. So this is tic-tac-toe in a digital nutshell. I hope this was informative to you, and I hope you all have a good day.